Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Grandmother clock. Must be time to talk about keto on a Saturday. Rainy Saturday here. Hi, my name is Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey. I like to talk about how I've lost 97.4 pounds since starting a ketogenic diet and how you might be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life. Thank you for attending this live event. And I'm going to look down and see. Oh, look. Hey, Jennifer. Thank you for letting me know you can see and hear. You know the questions, don't you? Always say, please let me know you can see and hear me, because there have been times when you couldn't. Hi, so we've got some folks joining. That's great. Hello, hello. Today's topic, as you can see from the title, is in ketosis but not losing weight. Is that a thing? That is definitely a thing. And as a matter of fact, it's not only not uncommon, it's very common. It is what happens. Ketosis, for those of you who don't know, and I will try to get, hey, Ashbro, you need to come to one of the Go Keto with Casey meetups at the Wine Styles in Friendly. Hi, Casey et al. You must be a writer or a scientist. What was I saying? Ketosis is when your body is mobilizing ketone bodies for fuel, burning fat for fuel, to put it simply. That's what ketosis is. Your body is burning fat for fuel. How do you get there? You reduce your carbohydrate intake to a level where your liver is no longer pushing out glucose for fuel, and so your body turns to burning fat for fuel, and everyone's happy. And the way that happens for most people, a good baseline that's probably going to work for just about everybody, is to consume 20 or fewer grams of carbohydrate a day, total, not net. Net carbs just means you're eating more carbs, which is fine if it works for you, but 20 total grams will work for just about everybody. Eat fatty sources of protein. Don't eat if you're not hungry, and stop when you're satiated. You can see the food list I followed at my blog. You're welcome to print it. It's just the food list I followed. Disclaimer, I am not a medical professional. I am not a PhD. I am a former fatty who I'm well-educated, intelligent, and highly motivated. And I was overweight for 30 full years. I'm actually 115 and a half pounds off my heaviest. And I've been fat for 30 years. I just didn't want to take insulin for diabetes. I researched how to not take insulin for diabetes, because I was going to have to do that. I was on debt to be diagnosed as type 2. Reduced my carbohydrate intake. Everything got better. So, ketosis. Burning fat for fuel. It's become a word that nobody heard 3 years ago. It has become the thing, right? Keto is on everything. Word to the wise. If the word keto has been slapped on a food product, it's almost certainly not. It's a non-regulated term, so they can put it on anything. But everyone's chasing after ketosis. Ketosis is when you're burning fat for fuel, in the simplest terms. It is not, ketosis does not mean weight loss. Ketosis does not even mean body fat loss. Ketosis means burning fat for fuel. That's all it means. So how can you be in ketosis and not losing weight? Well, let me tell you, I have been in ketosis for 5 years, pretty much exclusively 5 years. And if being in ketosis meant losing weight, I would now be at my birth weight. I'm not. I've been weight stable for some time now. We all are, everyone's body weight fluctuates. Mine fluctuates. I weigh every day, and it goes like this, but it's pretty much stable. So why would that be? I'm in ketosis. I'm not losing weight. First, a couple of questions. If you have 5 pounds you want to lose, this may take a while because, even people who have a lot that they want to lose and have lost often find the last 5, 10, or 15 pounds are just slow going. First of all, make sure your expectations are realistic. Either, we hear fantastic stories, and some of them are apocryphal, which means they're not true, of people, shedding scads of weight consistently. Those are the rarity. I had a lot to lose. I'm 5'1", so imagine an extra 100 or so pounds on this frame. I had a lot to lose. The first year, and I was very happy with it, I lost 47 pounds. That's less than a pound a week on average. And the bulk of that, I haven't looked back in a long time, probably came in the first 3 months. The rest was just, there were days, weeks, and months where I actually went up. But I felt so much better, it didn't matter. So first of all, adjust your expectations. Second of all, concentrate on what really matters, feeling better. The whole point of, losing weight and looking real cute in jeans is so that you can enjoy your life. It's a lot easier to enjoy your life if you don't feel sick and tired and achy and have acid reflux and irritable bowel syndrome and all these other things that can be really greatly improved by simply keeping your carbs to 20 grams a day or fewer, eating fatty sources of protein, and not eating if you're not hungry. So make sure that the prize your eyes are on is the right prize. But say, it's good. And I do coaching. So when I talk to people, and a lot of times I'm in ketosis and I'm not losing weight. I've been doing this for 6 weeks, not lost a pound. First of all, are you sure you're in ketosis? Oh yeah, because I'm hardly eating any carbs. Well, that doesn't immediately follow. It really needs to be restricted enough where your liver's not pushing out glucose. You don't have to test for ketosis. Usually the first sign is you lose your appetite, like really lose your appetite. But testing can be helpful. So I recommend the urine strips, which, by the way, don't measure ketones. And people say, oh, they're useless. And if you get a positive, it just means you're spilling over ketones. Well, that's not right, because they're not even measuring ketones. They're measuring acetoacetate, which is a byproduct of your body burning fat for fuel. Anyway, for most people, making sure they're not overexposed to air and they're not expired, they're a good, easy way to just test. If you're anywhere above neutral, light as pink to dark as purple, doesn't matter, you're burning fat for fuel, good, you're in ketosis. That's the first question. You can also test by blood. My preferred meter is the Keto Mojo. And you can see that in the sidebar of my blog. It's a little affiliate link, but it's a product I really actually do like and recommend. But you don't have to measure. But anyway, so you're in ketosis. Are you overeating dietary fat? What do you mean by that? Are you consuming coffee or tea loaded up with MCT oil? Or are you putting MCT oil in everything? Some people do. MCT oil, coconut oil, butter. Are you eating fat bombs? Are you going way out of your way to eat extra fat? I thought I was supposed to. Yes, no, it's not part of the protocol. If you will look at the food list, MCT oil is not on it. Coconut oil is not on it. We use coconut oil to saute like shrimp because it's nice and light, but we're not using it to do anything other. Fat bombs, not on the list. Here's the reason. You're in ketosis. You're burning fat for fuel. The fuel is required for the energy requirements of our body. If the energy needs of our body is being met by what we're taking in by mouth, as far as fat goes, we're burning fat for fuel, but now we're chugging back fat. The energy needs are met. You don't have to burn what's on your body. Imagine it this way. Imagine you're driving your vehicle. It's burning gasoline for fuel. And you think, oh boy, I'm going to burn up all this gas. Well, imagine now that you have some weird craft hovering above your car, like when they refuel airplanes and they can do it in the air. Imagine you've got some craft above your car, fueling, putting more gasoline in to the opposite end of the tank of your car. And you're driving down thinking, I'm going to run out of gas. No, you never will, because you keep having a supply. That's a terrible analogy. Sorry about that. I'm usually better at those. But if you're drinking by mouth or eating by mouth, all the fat that your body needs for energy, it doesn't need to tap into reserves. That doesn't mean cut off the fat from your fatty sources of protein. Eat the fat that comes with your choices of protein. Steak with the fat, poultry with the skin, eggs with the yolks, full fat cheese if you eat cheese, which is not unlimited, by the way, a couple of ounces a day. Pork chops with the fat. Good news is usually those are the cheaper choices for those bits of protein. So it's don't fear the fat, but don't add the fat. There are those that will pound their fist into their palm and say, you must get in X number of grams of fat a day. You must eat fat to burn fat. As Dwight Schrute would say, false. It's not the presence of the fat, it's the absence of the carbs. It's not the presence of the fat that makes you burn fat. It's the absence of the carbs. Look at it this way. You're stranded on a desert island. You've got plenty of fresh water to drink, but nary a carbohydrate to eat. You're living off of the random crawfish that you can catch. You're going to burn body fat. You're going to go into ketosis in a short period of time. You're going to start burning body fat, and then you end up looking like Tom Hanks when he got off the island on Castaway. It wasn't because he was pounding that fat. His character, anyway. It was because he cut out the carbs or had no access to them. So you can be in ketosis and not lose weight. Now, the next question, you're in ketosis. Yes, I'm in ketosis. No, I'm not doing that added fat thing. Absolutely not. Then the next question is, are you just consuming more food than your body needs in order to lose weight? You're just eating more food than you need. Not eating, if not really hungry, is the key to this. Second only to cutting, reducing the carbs. And it's the hardest part. The food is easy. Learning the food choice is easy. Not eating if you're not hungry, harder. We are habituated. We have been warned. You must have 3 meals a day and 2 snacks, or breakfast is the most important meal of the day, or you'll go into starvation mode if you don't eat every 2.5 hours. I don't like that phrase. So, people following that advice over the last 40 years, and we're the fattest in the history of humanity. It's not working. Don't eat if you're not hungry. And it's surprising how much less food we require than we've been eating. The good news is the ketogenic diet, one of the great benefits is your appetite is naturally suppressed, so you naturally consume less if you listen to your body. And thereby you lose weight. But it doesn't need to be 4 pounds a week. Look at feeling better, coming off medications, getting your eyes brightened back up, a better night's sleep, not having to take a nap in the middle of the afternoon, not having intrusive thoughts of food. Last week I wore my shirt that said, "Food is not the boss of me." That is the victory of this, among other things. Food is not the boss of me. Food does not run my life anymore. Food is not love. Food is not entertainment. Food is not sport. Love is love. Food is fuel. If I want to show somebody how much I love them, I don't need to bake them a pie. Maybe I need to give them a hug or reach out to them on a rainy day or take a walk with them or write them a note, say, "I'm thinking about you." Food is not love. Love is love. Food is fuel. Food is not the boss of me. I'm in ketosis. I have essentially gotten to the weight I'm going to weigh. I'm perfectly happy with it. I feel very good. My blood markers are pristine. So if body fat loss is your goal, don't overeat dietary fat. That doesn't mean don't eat the fat that comes with the protein. It means give up the MCT oil, the exogenous ketones, all that crap. Fat bombs. No. Get yourself a nice steak. If you can't afford steak, get yourself some nice ground beef and enjoy it. Put a slice of cheese on it. Make yourself a bunless cheeseburger. If that's what you can afford, if that's what's convenient, if the best you can do is drive through Burger King, get a cheeseburger, bacon double cheeseburger, pull off the buns, and dive in. If that's the best you can do it. The food is easy. Don't eat if you're not hungry. It's not the presence of fat, it's the absence of carbs. And all that other stuff, the kits, the pills, the supplements, the shakes, the powders, the so-called keto foods that come packaged. If it comes packaged, other than maybe cream cheese, it's really not. Fake baked goods. Be careful. Don't just issue them. Thank you, Melanie, for the $2 super chat. She says, thank you for representing our generation. Well, I don't know about that, but I'm happy to be here. So thank you very much for the super chat. And I appreciate that. And that'll stick. So there are a lot of folks here. I really like that. I hope I've covered the topic. You can be in ketosis, not lose weight, because for one thing, this is not a weight loss protocol. It is a fat burning protocol. And our bodies are going to do what they're going to do. Stick to the protocol. Hovers around Go Keto with Casey. Oh, I need to give and will give a quick shout out to patrons. I have a closed Patreon group. It's patreon.com/Go Keto with Casey, where I make about 20 videos a month for patrons and a closed forum on Discourse, and then about half a dozen or so private live streams a month, half a dozen or so video group sessions, and hour-long one-on-ones with me a month, depending on the pledge level. But around Go Keto with Casey, we don't call it a stall or a plateau. We call it a hover. We try to reframe our thinking. In this morning's group session, it was reconfirmed that you can hover. You can have 3, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 2 months without any weight loss, but your clothes, you are looser. Your clothes are looser on you. You're getting smaller. That is a thing as well. It is a thing. So losing inches without losing pounds or ounces happens. So try to make the scale the last measure. First of all, how do you feel? There's a measure. Second of all, are you coming off of medications? There's a measure. By the way, if you're on medications, particularly any for blood glucose, you must follow a doctor's care while doing this. You must, non-negotiable. Are your trousers looser? Are your blouses, are you swimming in them? That's a measure. Do you have more energy? There's a measure. Are you not thinking about food? There's a measure. Let the scale be somewhere else. Okie dokie. I'm just looking down. Elena asks, Casey, do you use a sous vide to cook your meat? Nope. I know a lot of people love it. We have very good friends who really love their sous vide. No, when we cook a steak, I cook it on the big green egg. I have a way to cook it. It's fantastic. Seriously, 4 minutes from start to perfect. We use a cast iron skillet. I don't make too many food videos or recipe videos because one thing, Casey's a lazy cook. I also want people to get away from perseverating about food. And someone said, write a cookbook. Well, I'm not going to do that. There's 100 billion of those out there. But mine would be pretty boring because it's a cast iron skillet and a fatty source of protein, and sometimes a handful of vegetable thrown in with some reserved bacon fat. We grill on the Big Green Egg, use the cast iron skillet. I do, when I'll cook up chicken thighs or something like that, I use the super slow simmer. I'll brown the chicken thighs in the cast iron skillet and then turn the heat way, way down. We have a super slow simmer, super low simmer on our cooktop for the burners, and it just cooks through beautifully. Or, you roast a chicken in the oven if you want. I cooked a capon on the Big Green Egg. It was delicious. Mr. Batsu, I'm in the middle of moving to a new home and have done fast food, bunless bacon cheeseburgers a lot this week. Still feel great and keto. It can be done, right? It can be done. I was just talking to my husband. I remembered this. During Hurricane Harvey, someone posted on my Keto After 40 with Casey Facebook group, which, by the way, is now closed to new members. I'm going to let that kind of dwindle away. They posted, they could say, I've been away for a while. I've been in the shelter due to Hurricane Harvey, but I've stayed in ketosis. Beef jerky, boiled eggs, bacon. If you can do it in a shelter during, after Hurricane Harvey, it can be done. But thank you for sharing that, Mr. Batsu. Wristful 2 writes, thin crisp crackers contain whole wheat, which is an inflammatory. Check out. No, I'm not going to talk to him about anybody else's stuff. And yeah, any crackers. Just do what you want to do. Do what works for you. But, I haven't met a food yet that's worth going back to the way I felt before. Oh, Lori writes, saw your egg drop soup, Casey. Looked delicious. It was, and it's so easy. Seriously, it took longer to make that video than it actually makes to prepare the meal. It's like a 5-minute video. Nothing. Hey, I like that, Melanie. Stalls are practice for maintenance. Hovers, yes, indeed. Oh, thank you, Barb O, for the $2 super chat. Do you have a question? The super chats are they're very generous, but it's supposed to be so you're tagged up there so your question will remain at the top because they do pass by. What is the Big Green Egg you mentioned? Oh, it's a grill. Google Big Green Egg and you'll see fancy schmancy grill, but it's wonderful. It's essentially like an analog convection oven. You can grill on it at extremely high heat, but you can also low and slow. So I can cook a pork shoulder, leave it on the grill for 24 hours, and it will hold to a degree the temperature. It's really cool. Do I work out? Thank you for the question, Annette. It's a running joke around Go Keto with Casey. I don't work out. I just dress like I do. Actually, I'm much more active than I used to be for obvious reasons. But I don't, it's not regimented. Exercise is good for the soul, good for the core, good for bone density, great for clearing the cobwebs out, flexibility, all that stuff. It is not effective for fat loss. It's just not. Building muscle is always great. And I'm a fairly strong person. I'm 60 years old. I'm pleased with my body composition at this point. Ron Yeager writes, I'm so glad you're telling everyone about not falling prey to these gimmicks. I know. And some of the online presenters, it's so cynical what they do. So cynical. It's so simple to do this. But many people have a vested interest in it becoming complicated so that they can then sell you something to make it simple. Also asking what is a Big Green Egg? Yeah, it's a grill. Google Big Green Egg. You'll see 6,000 pages on it. I'm going to scroll back up and see. I eat when I'm hungry because you told me to do that. Oh, Ron. Thumbs up. Okay, thank you. Hey, Sharon, I love listening to you. Keep it real. You're such a natural talker. Oh, I talk a lot, that's for sure. Okay, so someone is talking about peanut butter and crackers. Okay, Lori, good for you, but no, you didn't lose 4 pounds because you ate some rye crackers. It was a coincidence. It's just not, certainly would not work for me, neither peanut butter nor crackers. Carol writes, I've lost 30 pounds and 30 to go in the last 6 weeks. I've only lost 5, but also lost 6.5 inches. See, I try not to get caught up in the weight. This is a lifestyle and the weight will come off. Thank you for sharing that, Carol. It's absolutely true. And this comes time after time after time. And around Go Keto with Casey, we don't say I only lost 5 pounds. You say I lost 5 pounds. Would you say I only put on 5 pounds? Oh, yes, I'm struggling with insomnia. Help. Okay, Barb. Now, when you say insomnia, do you mean you're going days without sleeping? Or are you finding you need less sleep? When we are a fat burner as opposed to a sugar burner, lots of things can change. And it's just quite possible that in our kind of carb haze state, we were numbed and drugged and we just were lethargic and needed more thought and we slept more. Maybe you need less sleep. My husband sleeps less than he did. He used to sleep 5 hours a night, and then years in middle age and stuff, and he started sleeping more. He never really had a weight issue, but he's full on keto, has been for 4.5 years. He's back to about 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. He just needs less. If you're actually you need to sleep, it's impacting your life, you're having trouble concentrating. I don't know what to tell you other than there's no reason that a well-formulated ketogenic diet would lead to that that I know of, outside of having more energy, needing less sleep. But a lot of people swear by something called Calm, which is, I think, a tea. Calm. Okay, thank you very much, Melanie. Barb, try Calm. Good for potty issues as well. What is my drink of choice? It depends. Right now, I'm going to make a hashtag, I think, because I got asked about it on Facebook, and it's hashtag Casey's Pink Drink. This was a full glass of ice with diet tonic water and a splash of diet cranberry, just a splash, and a squeeze of lime. I drink coffee with heavy cream and Splenda in the morning. I'll drink water with a little Soleil in it. I'll drink Crystal Light. I like Coke Zero. If I'm going to have an adult beverage, everything. I like dry red, dry white wine. I like spirits mixed with diet tonic water. A diet tonic and gin is delightful. A martini. Martini's delightful as well. Okie dokie. Magnesium might help with insomnia. You know what I do sometimes? This also helps with leg cramps and stuff. Magnesium is a great thing. Soaking in a warm Epsom salt bath at night. Wind down. Our skin is our largest organ, and the magnesium in the Epsom salts can be absorbed through the skin. It's very relaxing, and it's just a nice way. I don't do it every night, but it is a nice way. Okay. I got suckered into MCT oil. It's great on the hair and skin. You know, that MCT oil, oh boy. Medium chain triglyceride. It'll just, it's a scam. Do it if it works for you. If things stop working, look at what you're doing. Sometimes things work in the beginning. As we lose weight and get older, our energy requirements change. My energy requirements are very different now than they were 115 pounds ago. Just lugging all that around required a certain amount of energy. So I need less fuel. Okay. Gizmo123. Hi, Casey. No pre-packed foods available in the UK. Making my meals from scratch is working great for me. Thanks. It's cheaper, it's better for you. And I'm telling you, there is barely a meal that we prepare around here that takes more than about 7 minutes. From fish to poultry, unless I'm doing a low and slow. If it's a long cooked thing, I can walk away. But if I'm cooking liver, beef liver is fantastic, by the way, and extremely nutrient dense. Fish, pork belly. Ooh, I love pork belly. Fried up in some reserved bacon fat. Steaks, burgers. What else do we cook? Shrimp, scallops. It just hardly anything takes more than a few minutes. It's just so simple. Allie Mo writes, I feel like keto has changed my personality. People are put out that I'm not so docile and I'm full of opinions all of a sudden. Good for you, Allie. Yeah. When you start feeling better about yourself, and maybe you start feeling, we do this to ourselves a lot. Who's going to listen to me? I'm just this fat person sitting over here. Because it can happen that when you're overweight, other people look at you, or we might think that other people look at us and, assume a 10-point IQ loss for every 20 pounds of overweight. Then you start feeling better about yourself. But good for you. Patty Gorman, hey Patty, asks, Casey, do you still use skinny syrups in your coffee? I do occasionally. Jordan's salted caramel I use occasionally. Not so much in the summer, but in the winter, it's rainy and cold here today. It sounds good. A little bit of that in the coffee. Keto is my lifestyle now. Yes, indeed. Sue Barker, hey Sue, I just tried, but wired at first, but it passed. Oh, I was tired I was tired, but wired at first, but it passed. Anne asks, Casey, do you need to add fat with liver? No, I don't. I mean, I cook it in bacon fat. So we have a jar of reserved bacon fat. By the way, it's fat, not grease. Grease is what you use to lube your car. Fat is what is rendered from animals. Anywho, bacon fat in a jar. So I'll put that in the cast iron skillet. Take the liver out of the package, slide it in there. I may or may not cut up a little bit of onion and some mushroom, whatever we happen to have on hand. And our family of seasonings, done, easy peasy. I don't worry about adding extra fat. I get plenty of fat in my diet. I'm eating the fat that comes with the protein. Liver is leaner, but I'm not too worried about it because one thing I will just put a dollop of bacon fat in there to cook it. But also other parts of the day, I'm eating eggs with the yolk and sausages and my ribeye. When I eat a ribeye, I always start from the fatty end. And sometimes I don't get past the fatty end. I'm satiated and I stop. Ron writes, I'm 70 and have never felt this good in many years. I'm going to go back to riding my bicycle as snow in the winter calms down. Congratulations for getting back on your bike. That is fantastic. Mrs. Vienard, you've helped me sort out the insanity surrounding keto. Total carbs, net carbs, dirty keto, clean keto, high fat, low fat. I'm so thankful I found you early on. Thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of noise out there. Ultimately, listen to your body. Tweak. If something works for me that doesn't work for you, don't do it. If something doesn't work for me that does work for you, great. Listen to your body. It knows. Our bodies talk to us constantly. It's constantly giving us feedback. We just ignore it. The acid reflux, your body's talking to you. Breaking out in a rash, body's talking to you. Irritable bowel syndrome, body's talking to you. Rising blood sugar, blood pressure, headaches, mental fog, body's talking to you. By the time you get type 2 diabetes and congestive heart failure, your body is screaming at you because you ignored all the conversation before, all the feedback before. So listen to your body. Do what works for you. Please choose your experts wisely. I'm not an expert. I can only speak to my experience, but please choose the message you receive. Please be careful to whom you listen. There are a lot of vested interests out there. There are people that should know better and cynically are capitalizing. There are people who don't know better. They take little snippets of information and put it together, and it's just, here's the protocol. Keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day. Total, not net. Eat fatty sources of protein. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. Nothing in there about pie charts or percentages. Nothing in there about minimum cups of anything. Nothing in there about electrolytes. Listen to your body. If you need to make an adjustment, the first thing you should do is make sure you get enough sodium if you don't have sodium-sensitive hypertension. And that will take care of many issues. Sodium is the queen of the electrolytes, queen of the minerals. And as she goes, the rest follow. So get your sodium straightened out, and a lot of times the other ones do. What's dirty? I don't know what dirty keto is. I don't know what lazy keto is. That's just silly to me. I mean, it's just people trying to come up with another name for a Facebook group. Okay, Oni, I'm going to remove that message. That's tacky. People on YouTube are much more likely to be gross and mean. Don't know why that is. Hey, Sue. Thank you for this super chat. A lot of people swear by fasting. Good for them. All it is you're eating less food. That's all it is. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Let me tell you what, if I did anything that made me start having intrusive thoughts of food because, oh my God, I can't eat yet because it's not the hour on the clock is not, I have to eat. I can't eat yet. I don't want that. I eat when I'm hungry. I don't if I'm not. If that means I eat, I had a gracious portion of fuel this morning. I was good and hungry. I ate very little yesterday because I wasn't. Had nothing to do with the hour on the clock. Everyone should do what works for them, though. Yeah, thank you. I've tried to block him or her. Okay, I'm reporting. Okay, excuse me. Oni needs to come out of his mom's basement. And get a life. Super Zoo lady, I'm 75, doing keto with intermittent fasting and feeling great. Great. I don't eat if I'm not hungry, no matter what the clock says. And I eat if I am, no matter what the clock says. That's just me. Alan Thomas, thank you for the super chat. Keep it simple. Elena writes, your body's talking to you. It's true. As a nurse, I 100% agree. Listen to your body. It is the best thing you can do. Elena, there are a lot of nurses in my Patreon group. I think it's very interesting. I think nurses, for one thing, have such a challenging career. From what I understand, it's almost all long shifts. I guess everyone works a 12-hour shift. You're in a setting that can be high stress. You're in a setting where families bring in boxes of Krispy Kreme to thank you for taking care of their loved one. And nurses know a lot, as we know. And so, did I close you? No, my screen popped. I just think it's very interesting how the nursing profession is represented. At least, it's nothing scientific, but in my community, it is. Alan writes, I've been following keto lifestyle for 5 weeks and I've lost 11 pounds. Biggest difference is that I am no longer falling asleep or taking naps just to make it through the day. That's one of the first things that happened to me, Alan, before much weight loss. One of the first was my joints didn't hurt. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I didn't have that 3 o'clock nap or feeling that I needed a nap. Congratulations. Alan writes, I'd stopped driving and was able to travel out of town, 2-hour trip each way last weekend with no issues. I feel like I have my life back. Congratulations. Blood sugar normalizes, but follow a doctor's care. Yes, you must. Thanks, Shell. If you are taking medication for blood sugar issues, you must do this under a doctor's care. Why? Because if you follow the protocol, your blood sugar will drop. And if you're also taking medications, you could actually become hypoglycemic. So you must do this under a doctor's care. Hey, Stuart, Jennifer. Oh, hey, Jennifer. Love the channel. How do I give thanks? Oh, idiots. Yeah. Keto, nearly 14 months, lost 144 pounds so far. Still another 120 to go. Found you early on as well as a few others. Life changed and life to be lived. That's congratulations. Wow. Carb coma. Yeah, no more. It's amazing when you get the sugar out. It's just, and make no mistake, all carbs are sugar. People say, well, I'll just cut out white sugar. It's all sugar. It's all sugar. You know, a potato, a Snickers bar, a bran muffin, Ezekiel bread, whole grain bread, Krispy Kreme, M&Ms, grapes, oranges. It's all sugar. It all comes out as simple sugar as far as your liver is concerned. Yeah, Carol writes, I agree. 73 years young, keto nurse and keto for 3 years. This is great. This is great. All right, I am going to start winding down. And again, Jack, hi, Casey. My wife and I both started keto a bit over a year ago. We've both lost 30 plus pounds, but have been in a stall for a few months now. Lose a pound, next day gain a few, up and down, help, okay? My guess, if you're not, now I don't know if you heard the first part. First of all, make sure you are burning fat for fuel, because there is carb creep. You can think you're doing okay, and even just too many vegetables can impact me. Make sure you're in ketosis, burning fat for fuel. Make sure you are not overeating dietary fat, MCT oil, bulletproof coffee, fat bombs, all that stuff. And make sure you're not eating out of habit and that you're not simply consuming more fuel than your body needs, or the exact amount of fuel that your body needs to maintain. You might, 30 pounds down, you need less fuel probably. So check that out. It is, now excuse me for reading. Okay, I will, oh, right. Jack, right, sorry, just got on, missed the first part. Wife is in ketosis. I never had positive reading on strips. The positive, you can have a false negative on the urine strips. Don't test first thing in the morning because it's measuring acetoacetate and that can be diluted on a full bladder. Test later in the day if you're using urine, but you may want to invest in getting a blood meter if you really are interested in drilling that down. I recommend the Keto Mojo. And you can see in the sidebar of my blog, CaseyDurango.com, the thing for it. And I think if you get one and you use that thing, you get a 15% discount. And I get a little something. Frida writes, when I enter ketosis, I usually get a weird smell, taste in my mouth. Is that normal? Yeah, a lot of people report that. I like the idea of going carnivore, right, Barb? I haven't had a vegetable in a week. I'm not doing that on purpose. Interestingly, I'm going to be in Denver in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to be meeting with, I will meet 3 people who are heavily into this: Amber O'Hearn, Georgia Eade, and Zoe Harcum. And I hope to connect with them and ask them some questions. Yeah, there's no reason not to. It fits perfectly in the protocol. 20 grams of carb or fewer a day. 0 is fewer. Okay, thank you so very much. Thank you to patrons who are here. Thank you for those who gave super chats. I really appreciate it. And keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer. Ketosis is the process by which we get where we want. Burning fat for fuel. Just keep in mind that just because you're burning fat for fuel doesn't mean you'll lose weight. You have to take all these things into account. And really, don't eat if you're not hungry. Eat if you are, but don't eat if you're not hungry, and stop when you're satiated. Sometimes that means, oh, I used to eat this plate of food and I was losing weight, but now I've stopped losing weight. You know what? I need to eat this plate of food. Okay, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Be sweet.